Hey, it's Rolando with RC Tech Pro Fly-In. Today we're going to go through a series of videos on a review of a purchase of a drone that I've just recently did. And if you look through my channel, you're going to see several different drones that I have flown. I have did some DIY drones. I've flown the 3D Robotics solo drone, and one of the last drone that I had was the Autel Evo 1. I've made a purchase of another drone, and if you stick around, you'll see which manufacturer I have selected, and then we're going to do a review on that particular drone. So stick around. All right, we're back. Thanks for sticking around. Well, in my hand, I do have the manufacturer drone that I selected. I'm going to show you here in just a few seconds, but there are particular reasons why I chose this particular model manufacturer for my drone selection. And I've flown many drones for many years. It's probably been about 10, 12 years since I've been flying RC products. And I made this selection because of some of the features that it had. Now, it's not 100% perfect in my personal opinion, but I'm going to give you, through the videos, I'm going to break them up in several different review sections for each of the functions that I feel should have been there, and some of the things that are really fantastic about this. So which drone do you think I selected through the manufacturer? Obviously 3D Robotics is no longer manufacturing drones. So it's going to be Autel Evo, or it's going to be the DJI product. Now, one of the things I want to tell you as a takeaway to the other manufacturers is that the Autel Evo does have a feature which is good. So it doesn't have geofencing, because you can take off anywhere. Obviously, being safe as a pilot, make sure that you're safe when you go anywhere or you're close to an area that's a no-fly zone. So I'm going to go ahead and raise this drone up and tell you what manufacturer I picked. Which one do you think I selected? Here we go. I've selected the DJI Mini Pro 3, or the Mini 3 Pro is what I've selected. So in my review, I'm going to give you some insights and outside on the drone, why I selected this particular drone, and some of the things. It still has that geofencing, but they made it easy through the Safe Fly app that you can go on DJI.com and go in there and go ahead and set that up. So if you're going to fly in an area, you can actually unlock it before you get to the fly site and at least be able to take off. And of course, being safe. All right, so anyways, so one of the things that I want to talk about on the drone, so we're going to talk basically about the structure of the drone. So obviously they've made this drone to be light at 249 grams, which is good. You don't have to register it. If you're using the battery that comes with it for that weight, which is great. Now, if you go and get a Fly More pack, they have the extended flight batteries, which when you put that in there, it does exceed the 249 grams. Now, the drone is very small, it's very light. If I go to feel the plastic on it, it feels very light to me. It's almost like a lightweight PLA type of feeling on the drone. If you're familiar with 3D printing and the filaments that they use, you can tell as you're squeezing it, it's kind of a little flimsy, okay? Don't be turned off by that, because that was part of the design that DJI did to make it that lightweight. All right, so the arms on this one, they do fold down, and I'll show you what I did for the to keep the props from flopping all over the place. Very simple little strap that I use to keep it in order. The props on this one, they do have screws on it, so it's always a good idea before you take off, do a pre-flight check and make sure that these screws are tight so you don't lose a prop while it's flying and next thing you know it's hitting the ground. So it does come with the camera guard. Now there is one thing that I have done with the camera guard when I purchased it. So when you take this off, all right, there is a small little rubber, it's for shipping purposes. Keep this, if you haven't purchased it yet, keep this little rubber guard, which actually keeps the gimbal stable. Now, if you don't put that in here, what happens is that when you put the camera guard back on the drone, so you can see that it doesn't stay stable. I'm plugging it in there. I can literally shake it, and I don't know if the integrity of the suspensions or the devices that hold the camera in place is going to lose its integrity, and after a while maybe it may not look stable. So what I do, I kept it, and after every flight that I'm completed, take it the way it came from the factory as it ships, slip it back underneath, all right, slip it underneath to keep the camera stable, and it still slips on there as, you know, when you bought it. Very simply, just snap it back on there, and there we go. You've got it where the camera stays stable when you're traveling with it, or if you have it in your pocket or your book bag or whatever. And one of the things I do like about the drone is because of its size. And you know, I went through several different manufacturers, and I was looking at the Autel Evo. I really like the Autel Evo, but I seen the Active Track wasn't as sharp as the DJI product, so that's one of the pluses why I selected the DJI product, is because of the Active Track. Is kind of like they did a good job in developing that software for their drones. So this particular one, they do have the Mini 3, which doesn't have the optical avoidance sensors in the front, nor does it have the optical sensors in the back. Now you notice that the sensors are more in the front. Now this drone flies like this, so it does have an angle, and then the actual coverage comes up, so at least it does pretty good as far as optical avoidance. And now on the Autel Evo, the optical avoidance wasn't the greatest, and one of the things that it had on the one is the rear were like infrareds, and they didn't work during the day. So the only way that you can get them active is by putting it in novice mode. The rears did work on that, but obviously you're gonna lose some of the performance in the novice mode. Now, if you were doing photography or pictures, if you were, you know, doing it for real estate or insurance coverages like that, you can put it in that novice mode. It does slow it down, but you're able to at least making sure when you're backing up that it does stop and, you know, prevent you from crashing into something. So I've got to get used to the DJI when the arms fold like this. You know, it's got basically like a ball joint. I'm always afraid that this thing will break, but it does fold up just like probably all the other drones. And you know, and one of the things that DJI should have had with this is some type of strap to keep these from moving, the props from moving all over the place, because they do move around, and you know, they're going to slip out, and you may end up catching something in your bag and then bending the props, and you don't want to crack one and you're not aware of it. So that's why make sure you're keeping your strap together. I'm going to show you something that I have just used, and it's very simple, and I'll put a link if I can still find this Velcro that I use. It's really simple to keep it from flopping all over the place. So just give me a second. I'm going to just go ahead and step into my drone bag and get that. So hang in there, okay? Okay, so I just picked it up, and what it is a very thin Velcro. It's really small. It's not really thick, and it comes on a roll, so you can actually tear this off. And I just stuck two together just for the lengthwise. So this is how I put this together with the drone. It's very simple. So obviously I keep the props together, crisscross them like this, and I take the strap from the bottom, and basically it just clips on like this, and it keeps the props from moving. see? So it's very secure, it's very light, and one of the things that I looked at really carefully is that you don't want the Velcros to really squeeze this super tight. I don't know if over a while you may end up causing the props to kind of be adjusted to the bend, and maybe it won't give you the stability of your image when it's flying. You might end up messing up the props in that. So I keep it kind of light, just enough just to keep it from bouncing around. I really like the drone with the button at the back. So you just push it one time and then you push it again and hold it, and then it turns on the drone, and the same thing with the controller. So on the controller side, I have just the RN, I believe it's an RN1, which is just your basic non-screened transmitter. And one of the things that I find to be useful with the RC1 is that it does have the screen on there, but when you're outside on a really hot sunny day, what happens is that your cell phone screen starts dimming, so it makes the image a little difficult to see. With that RC1, with the screen built into the controller, you can literally not have that problem and at least get a larger view on there, and I think it's got great. The only thing that I'm going to say that I don't like about it is that obviously you have to use your phone, you have to tether your phone, hotspot your phone to the control in order for you to get Wi-Fi capabilities, internet capabilities, so that you can see all of your maps and everything as you're flying. And that's the only thing I don't like it. So if your phone dies or something, you pretty much lost your internet to your controller. Now, if they're going to make something like where you can pay a service to a cell company to be able to provide service to that controller, that would be great. Will they do it? Have no idea. Maybe it's possible. So, or maybe there's something you can plug into it, maybe through the USB or the USB-C. Maybe there's a plug that has a little receiver transmitter that you can get internet with that. That would be awesome too. Obviously, you're gonna have to pay for that service. So, all in all, as far as this, just the structural, and this is my first video concerning this, and then I'm going to show you some flight videos on some of the features. I want to kind of break it up so you can see my personal thoughts on this particular Mini 3 Pro drone. So we're going to end it right there for now. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and tune in, put that notification bell so that this way when I have the videos coming out, you're able to at least catch them and that you don't forget about it, because I'm going to give you some in-depth reviews on this particular drone. And we're going to talk about ND filters, we're going to talk about active tracking, we're going to talk about going through obstacles with the drone and seeing how well the obstacle avoidances work. So we're going to do kind of tests that typically you want to make sure that if you're investing in a drone and you're sitting there shopping for which one should I invest in, I'm going to show you if this one is for you. Okay, anyways, this is Rolando with RC Tech Pro Flying. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.